What's up, everybody? Another edition of Shattered Glass Cast on the NEI Wrestling Network. Myself, Damian Salty G, Matt McCool, Chip K. Fabe. You can find the show at Glasscast NEI on Twitter. With the final pairings or brackets being released of the mixed match challenge, man, that's a mouthful to say.
Yeah.
I finally get to see the brackets up close and personal. And honestly, guys, I kind of like the way the team format is shaped. When you really look at the brackets, it's about a 12-week tournament going to be on Facebook Live, which Matt is going to get into a little later about why that's so important. Personally, there's some of the pairings that are great on paper, but the order in which they're going up against people does not make sense. So let's go through the brackets one at a time. Team 1, Bazzler and Banks versus Nakamura and Natalia. Why?
I had to, sorry.
Why did they have to put Shinsuke with the cat lady?
Why is Shinsuke in this anyways?
It's actually kind of funny. They're both really quirky.
Yeah, it's SmackDown versus Raw, which I didn't know what was going to be that way. I didn't know it was going to be SmackDown.
I wish it was Raw and SmackDown talents and mixed together, you know what I mean?
So did I, and I would have preferred that. So there's a lot of good first round matchups. So that's a really good one. Obviously, you're going to get Shinsuke and Bazzler with their history from New Japan and NXT, and Banks and Natalia can go in the ring. So I think that is going to be interesting. And those for you who are wondering, it's not intergender. People are asking me if it's intergender. No, it's going to be mixed tag.
Mixed tag match.
You know, men are going to wrestle the men, women are going to wrestle the women. WWE is not that liberal to have, women and men wrestling one another.
I don't think they can do that either.
Because they're a publicly traded company, and that's not very PG, which is why I'm surprised about one of their newest signings, which we'll talk about later in the show, which Chip is not a fan of. As if you listen to Salty Chip's earlier this week on our show, you can hear why Chip is not happy. The second bracket.
Am I ever happy?
The Miz and Asuka. No, you're never happy, Chip.
No.
The Miz and Asuka against Big E and Carmella, with Big E being voted as Carmella's partner through, I want to say, a Twitter poll or WWE poll. First off, I think the team of Miz and Asuka makes sense on one level. He does all the talking. She can do all the fighting. That's all you need.
But was this really going to be anything where we really need talking?
Well, the promo's up to it. Right, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I just really think it's an interesting team. When it was announced, I love it.
I mean,
Asuka can't talk. And I don't know if you guys have seen the vignette when the Miz figures out that his partner's Asuka.
Yes.
And he's like, I'm going to win because she's the best in the world. It's perfect.
It's surprising, though, because he put over a face, which...
I don't think this tournament has anything to do with heels or faces.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking.
It does not, and that was announced before, and I'm happy it is this way because it's kind of separate from storylines, and that makes it that much more interesting. Because when I was fancy booking this, I was pairing, Sasha and Finn Balor or Bayley and Finn Balor, matching faces and heels, and I'm happy it's not because it makes the teams more interesting.
Well, that's a good thing because in one of the other brackets, we have Sami Zayn teaming with Becky Lynch, which I was confused about at first when I first heard about it, but it was, what was that?
It's kind of a dream team.
It is a dream team because they're two of the best workers that WWE has. And they're going up against the team that needs, I don't want to say they need the most work, but they could use the helping hand in the ring. And plus there's a storyline of Sami Zayn. Is he or is he not a heel? Are his actions heelish? Becky wants her old friend Sammy back. And he's like, I never left. It's still me. Remember, I'm being taken advantage of. And then you got Beauty and the Beast with Bliss and Strowman.
That's a perfect analogy.
I guess that's the narrative perfect to go with those two because
what do we call Rusev and Lana?
Husband and wife.
Married.
Okay.
Essentially, same thing with Naomi and is it Jay or Jimmy? I'm sorry.
It's Jimmy. Am I the only one that can tell them two apart?
I can tell apart physically. I just still can't.
I can't.
I can tell apart. Like if you point out to me in the match who's in the ring, I can tell you Jimmy or Jay just by the beard.
And Chip knows all about beards if you watched Salt Chips yesterday. So
I can see it right now. I know all about it.
This beard is magnificent.
Thank you.
I'm sure it's just so itchy. I couldn't do that. I go for 4 days.
Once you get through the long part of it, like it goes all the way down to here now. So once you get through that weird week and a half cycle, it stops itching.
Okay. Let's see. One of the more intriguing teams on paper for me is Elias and Bailey. I know Elias was the fill-in partner for Bailey because her and Samoa Joe would have been kind of funny to see Bailey try to hug Joe.
Yeah.
And Joe being disgusted by Bailey hugging him, and then Joe trying to toughen her up, and her being
That's perfect.
unable to toughen up. I thought that would have been a good pairing. But they're going up against Rusev and Lana. So we all know Lana's eating the pin, right? That's pretty simple.
I really think that Rusev and Lana are going to win.
Oh, I hope not.
I do. I hope they do. And I mean, Chip said Rusev and Lana, kind of why are they married? I mean, Rusev is very charismatic. I don't know if you guys have seen Total Divas and obviously on WWE TV, but he's absolutely hilarious. So, I mean, I'm not surprised at all.
Well, have you ever seen his Twitter?
Yeah. He's a funny guy.
Yeah. But actually, I kind of think Rusev is going to win his match. I do. I think they go a little bit further because he's. I can't remember who tweeted it, but they're taking over Breezango's spot as that naturally babyface getting. I can't remember the word now. I'm sorry. I'm
the natural
food now.
The heels that are turning face without you realizing they're turning face.
Organic turn. That's what it was.
It's already happened though. You guys heard Chicago. I mean, the guy is beyond over, and Aiden English is absolutely hilarious. He's so funny.
I'm so glad he went back to his. He's a talented singer. I'm so glad he went back to that gimmick.
And he's serviceable in the ring. I mean, he's not great, but he does what he's supposed to do. He's a good manager that can wrestle.
You know what would have been great if Fate kept it the way it is. He married Eddie Guerrero's daughter while Eddie was still alive. I wish that happened because he could be great.
Well, just from a character standpoint, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
The last pairing we have Apollo Crews and Nia Jax. Now, I don't get it.
Apollo wins everything.
Obvious, but I don't get it.
I just think the vignettes were hilarious, and I watched this one and the whole Titus Worldwide brand, and Dana Brooke, who's their keeper of records now, showed up, and they all were like, yeah. I think she's like the record keeper or something. She's kind of like Jillian Hall.
Manager. She's their research manager. Sorry.
Wow. It's really weird.
What's up?
Is that mac and cheese?
It is.
Are you kidding? Can I see that?
It's skinny mac and cheese.
Oh my god, that
looks
so good.
Chip is eating on
air. I'm getting mac and cheese at Ram said.
I haven't eaten today. Damian, you can probably relate. I'm trying that 16-8 diet.
Oh, the fasting? Yeah.
Yeah. So this is my first meal of the day.
Does that work?
It's only day one.
I've done it. I've lost about 7 pounds doing it. So
I do the high protein, high water, cut the carbs a little bit, work out, but like mainly high protein.
Right.
And that
I eat a ton of protein anyways, like chicken. Steak is my go-to. Like, don't talk to me if you don't like steak. And if you make your steak well done, just buy chicken. Like, don't waste it.
Exactly. It's like a hamburger. Ugh, I agree.
Exactly.
Well, Chip, that was like the go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
My dad, when we were growing up, they call him Captain Safety. So he would always have us order or he'd make the steaks and have us order like medium. And like as I got older, I started going down and down and down. Now I'm like medium rare, like make it pink because it tastes amazing. I'm not gonna get E. coli.
Like if I hear a moo, I might still be happy because it's that rare. Like, like I might not get mad if I hear it mooing still. I was just to say mewing. What the hell is mewing?
That's a cat. That's meowing.
That's meowing. I was gonna say Mewtwo.
Are you trying to kill your cat?
My cat's not here.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Not this time.
Okay.
Unlike last night where he made an appearance.
Yes, which was comically funny that your cat just randomly disappeared on camera.
Well, he just jumped up on my shoulder and then ran.
Of course, Chip's cat is crazy.
Yeah, well, it's Chip's cat. You got to be crazy to be Chip's cat.
Yeah.
One day when the show goes live, I'll show off my scar from Capone's.
The one you showed yesterday? That is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, man.
I haven't seen that yet. I don't think. Oh my god, are you kidding?
Yeah,
that's from Capone's.
Oh, I was meeting Sasha Banks at the King Ajar. So I mean, I was okay doing that, but I really, really wish somebody recorded video of that. Oh my god.
I'm no longer allowed in Capone's in Florida, so
boo-hoo.
Because you're a violent man, dude. We can't have you beating up people.
I beat up myself.
Yes.
That's true too. But I digress. They're going up against Rude and Flair, which is Flair 2.0 and Flair 3.0, as Charlotte is 2.0 and Bobby 3.0. I have a feeling they're gonna lose, to be honest with you, early.
Really?
Because you know what it is? I could see the bickering between the two of them eventually. You know, like I'm not
Really?
Ric Flair, you're not Ric Flair. Stop that. You know, because let's be honest, Bobby's a fake Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, to me, I think the three favorites are Sasha and Finn Balor, Rude and Flair, and Zayn and Lynch. I think one of those three will win, and I could maybe see Miz and Asuka winning. But I think I did say to you guys off air that apparently Ryan Ward, who used to write for NXT, is booking this entire tournament and made the pairings. So I mean, my guess he'd pick one of his guys or girls to win, but who knows?
Doesn't it have to be Miz and Asuka? Because Asuka can't lose.
Miz can
Does
get
it,
pinned.
if he loses in this, does it count?
No.
Yeah.
No way.
Now they'll have to change it so she's never lost in singles action.
Yes.
But yeah, it goes as a loss on her record.
But couldn't they get like DQ'd or there's a way that they can book around that though.
Well, they can. They could say either she hasn't been pinned in singles competition, she hasn't been pinned in singles, she hasn't lost in singles. But either way, there's going to be a loss on her record if they lose. So they have to win. I don't think there's really a choice here. If you're trying to keep that whole undefeated thing going.
So, Chet, let me just ask you straight away.
She would be undefeated though. She wouldn't have been pinned or lost in singles competition.
Still a match she's included in. Look it up because that would still be a loss on her record. It's like Undertaker. It's like Undertaker when he was supposed to have that tag team match with Nathan Jones at WrestleMania 19. If they lost that match, that still would have been a loss for Taker.
Aren't you glad they killed Nathan Jones?
Oh man, how brutal was that?
He was a wreck. Oh God.
So you're saying to me if the Miz gets counted out and he walks out,
that's a loss on Asuka, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't this separate from other storylines though? That's what they said.
Storylines, sure, but it still goes on her record, and we all
know. I agree. So they're booking themselves into a corner, having Asuka in the tournament.
It's stupid.
She also could get taken out by someone before the tournament starts.
I hope so.
So wait, okay. Let me ask two questions. One, overall, who do you think's winning? That's one. And I know it's all semantical because we're not booking. And two, what do you think the importance of this mixed match challenge? What does it signify going forward in professional wrestling?
I think it's a big deal for the Revolution, and the fact WWE's doing this just shows the interest in women's wrestling, and just shows how far we've come. I think that in terms of who I think is going to win, like I said, I picked three favorites. I'm not sure between those three. I still think there's a way they can book around that Miz Asuka thing. If I were to pick a winner right now, I mean, also for me, whenever I'm picking a winner in wrestling, whether it's like Royal Rumble or Money in the Bank, this is going to be a big time win. You're going to want to pick somebody that's really popular on social media, and that a lot of people. I think that Sasha and Finn Balor are going to win. I really do. I think that they're the most over team, and call me biased, but I think they'd be a pretty popular pick for everybody. And in terms of other significance, I think for WWE in general, this is huge for their TV rights deal. It's up in September 2019, and a company like Facebook or Amazon could write WWE a check, for example, for NXT or for SmackDown for, $200 million if they want, live rights. So the amount of people that come and watch us on Facebook Watch is going to determine WWE's, I guess, negotiating power, because they talk to Fox, Disney, CBS, Amazon, Facebook. So they're talking to everybody. And if this goes well, this could completely change the game and make it extremely hard for NBC Universal to retain WWE, even though they've been great partners. I also heard today that apparently if Fox loses UFC, they have so many hours to fill, they might make WWE an offer they can't refuse. So that's going to be pretty interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
So to your statement about Amazon and stuff like that, they're definitely talking to them, I'm sure. But let's not say that. What's the word I'm looking for? That we're going to take it off of cable television. They still need cable television for commercials, ads. People just flipping through channels and becoming a fan just through that. So even if Amazon or whatever comes to fruition, Facebook Watch, it's never going to come off cable TV. But this is huge for that. And who do I think is going to win? I did reverse there. Sorry. Who I think is going to win is Miz and Asuka.
Yeah, you know
Yay
what?
for Miz, boo for Asuka.
And really quick in response to your point, I agree. I don't think the Raw or SmackDown will ever be off of cable TV. But I think that a company like Amazon or Facebook could, write a check for maybe there's a mixed match show, or there's a UK show, or there's NXT. NXT would probably be the one that I'd say could move over, but I don't think there's any chance of Raw ever leaving cable TV, especially. SmackDown, maybe, but Raw, no.
Because Raw brings in so much ad revenue.
Yeah.
So, no, there's no way in hell they're taking that off cable. Now, if they moved NXT to a regular non-WWE network television program area, let's say, insert channel A here, do you think that helps NXT or does it hurt NXT?
TNT.
That's where you put it, TNT?
No, I'm just throwing a shit on.
I was like, what?
Oh, yeah, me too. So, what do you think it does for NXT?
I don't know. It was successful on USA.
Was it?
They got 1 million.
Did they get 1 million
Did
viewers?
They did.
Wow.
They got 1 million.
That's huge.
That's great.
So
I don't think it really matters.
All right, so are we talking simulcast?
Sure.
Well, in that case, it has to have a cap on it. So if they're doing that, it's got to be a 2-year cap. For example, put it on there. Let's just say it can't possibly happen. Let's say we put it on there tomorrow. From now until January 11th of 2020, it's going to be on TV, and then after that, you always advertise the network. Then at the end of 2 years, and you look at your network numbers, and you've gone up, 1 million, 1.5 million. That's a success. You can't, but the end goal is always going to be WWE Network subscribers. So it all depends on that end. You could start off well, you can get numbers on TV, but at the end, the factor of success is the WWE Network numbers, I think.
What about you, Matt? What do you think?
It's a good point. I don't know. I think it depends on if they're going to go live. I don't know if they would, because Triple H always does like to be there, even though he was not at SmackDown on Tuesday to go have dinner with Ronda Rousey in LA. But I don't know. It really just depends. I think it'll be fine for NXT. It'll expand NXT's audience and have more people that. It also depends on the platform, whether it's like Netflix or Amazon or Facebook. But I think if you're an NXT fan, you're going to watch it regardless. Also, if you're a WWE fan, you're not going to cancel the network. You still want to watch the pay-per-views unless you're just an NXT guy, or guy or girl, but you get, the same amount of content. So
there are a bunch of hipsters out there that way.
I think, yeah. I think if they move to Amazon or Netflix or Facebook, I think it'd be fine for NXT. It actually kind of fits NXT's new age, like, mold, sort of.
So 2 things. One, and I don't know how you guys feel about it. I feel like that Triple H and Ronda Rousey news was planted.
Of course it was.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Just want to make sure we were on the same page there.
Had to be planted. I mean, it was too convenient.
Right. And second, just a question. I don't know why. You say Amazon.
Yes.
Is Amazon moving into live TV? Is that what you're saying, to bring it to Amazon Live?
I'm saying Amazon Prime.
Okay. Because like I said, I have Prime. I'm not too familiar with their TV, and like I know they have like their own streaming service
I didn't even know they had a live streaming service.
That's my question. Do they have a live streaming service?
They have a live streaming service. I don't think so, but I think it's just Amazon Prime. But I know. Well, wait, I didn't.
So it's like Hulu, essentially.
Yes.
I think Amazon was they were trying to get the NFL. So I think they definitely have the capability to do a live.
It's probably like PlayStation View, where eventually down the line they're going to have this deal where they can broadcast live NFL games, like they do with Twitter. Twitter sometimes they can broadcast live NFL games from London. Like basketball sometimes. I think I watched the Celtics on Twitter today while I was at work.
Yes, I was watching.
Yeah, they were in London. My roommate was very upset.
Why?
He's a huge Sixers fan.
Oh, fuck him.
Dude, they're not that. I'm not gonna say they're not that bad, but they are steadily improving.
Who's their coach these days?
Brett Brown.
Oh, where's Jason Kidd these days?
Bucks.
Okay, because I know he was with the Nets, and I thought he went to Philadelphia after
Come
that.
out, Chip. I thought you were a basketball guy. How'd you not know that?
Really, Chip? You're a basketball guy? I didn't
I
know
watch
that.
everything. I watch everything.
Oh my God.
Baseball is my number one.
Okay.
Basketball is number two.
Yes.
Hockey is my least right now.
Okay.
It
Sorry,
was
guys,
number
we're
two for a
getting off
while.
topic for wrestling. Sorry, we're just talking all-encompassing sports at this point. We're just
Well, no, I
making
wanna read what all the companies WWE, because WWE had a meeting with a bunch of different companies over the summer as kind of a preliminary like tour, because they can't negotiate with any other company. I think their exclusive window negotiating with NBC actually expires May 30th. So they met with Amazon, CBS, YouTube, and Disney.
Disney would be huge, not just
Yeah.
for the Disney name itself, but now you got ABC. You've got, I think E Networks. No, E Network is an NBC Universal one. So that's where it gets touchy. What are they going to do with Total Divas? What are they going to do with Total Bellas? So that's weird. But they have that same options with Disney, ABC,
Disney World, Disney merchandising, Disney
exactly.
in general.
They could do a kids show on the Disney Channel. Like that's
Yep.
just huge to say.
They definitely would.
Yeah, they could bring back Saturday morning wrestling. Like when we were kids.
Man, listen, they need to start bringing back Saturday morning cartoons, and then I'll start thinking about it. Okay?
And then start thinking about wrestling.
Yeah.
And there's rumors that Disney could actually buy WWE, not just get their TV rights.
I buy it, but man, I don't know how I'd feel about WWE.
Oh hell no, Vince will no. Vince will be like, you're gonna pry this from my dead, lifeless fingers.
I think he's more open to selling than
Vince is gonna go buy the Panthers with some investors, and then he's gonna keep Triple H in charge, and they're gonna sell to Disney. But Triple H is gonna be in charge of the company.
That is some hell of a long-term booking right there, Matt.
Wow.
Long-term booking.
My mind is blown.
Wow. Did anybody watch NXT last night?
I haven't had a chance.
I did not, but I heard that Dakota Kai lost to Shayna Bazzler, and I can't wait to watch it.
I'm crushed because they kayfabe destroyed. I call her Kick Bay's elbow.
Yep.
Shayna Bazzler literally just stomped her elbow out, and big shout out to JJ Williams for him and I with the constant banter about Dakota Kai. I think it's a great way to book Shayna. For those who know the spoilers, she is getting a title shot at TakeOver Philly against Ember Moon, and I guarantee, I'll put money on the table now, Shayna Bazzler takes the title.
Definitely.
Yeah, you're right.
When was the last time we had a heel champion in NXT?
What?
A heel women's champion in NXT. When was the last time we had that?
Charlotte.
Exactly.
Sasha.
No, Sasha.
Sasha.
Sasha was after.
That's the boss.
Yep.
Exactly. So the time is right for a heel female champion.
Who was before? It was Sasha, Bailey, Asuka. Wow.
Ember.
Asuka was champion that long.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, she ain't so bad now, isn't she, Chip?
Oh, she's still bad.
Oh, God. Shut up, Chip.
No, all right. No,
So
I got nothing.
I love the Shayna Bazzler debut. I love how she's been booked, how she came out and choked out Kairi Sane. It was a perfect way to introduce her to the audience. She's just kind of a badass. I don't know if you guys also saw her the little clip of her in the performance center, like being like, "Hey, can I show you this hold?" And she really choked that girl out. I love Dakota Kai too. I'm right there with you, Damian. I've said it multiple times on the show. I think she has a lot of potential, but I mean, yeah, does this thing she lost her debut? Yeah, but there's been a lot of people that have debuted and lost, and we've kind of forgotten about them. And she also is the quote unquote Bailey underdog. So having her lose
she's the baby face next door.
Yeah, having her lose a few times will generate some sympathy, and fans will start caring. And once she gets rolling, she's going to be just fine.
I wish that Dakota Kai debuted as Evie and lost like this. Only reason I say that is because we can wipe out that history quick. Like, does anybody remember Kimberly Lee's?
Yes, when she was Kimberly Frankel. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Does anybody remember that? No, because we can wipe that from history.
Right.
So, or at least if she debuted under a different name, didn't have to be Evie. But what, we can still do that if she debuts as something else. But now it's the history of Dakota Kai in the Mae Young Classic and that she lost her debut in NXT. So you can't. Well, it's a different deal.
At the same time, though, Shayna Bazzler is going to be booked very, very close to Asuka, and she's not going to lose. So I don't think Shayna Bazzler lasts too long. I understand. I get why they want her to debut and beat somebody legitimate, but I don't think it really hurts her too much.
No.
I don't think Shayna Bazzler lasts long.
Really?
Oh, no. Nope, she doesn't stay long. Guaranteed. She doesn't stay.
Why?
I think they have
That gimmick can run its course very quickly.
Yeah, that the whole badass female that chokes out people in NXT will run itself out. And I could see her on the main roster taking it to, let's say, Becky Lynch really quickly.
I thought you meant like her leaving the company.
No,
I
I'm
mean,
talking about her.
That's what I
NXT.
mean. That's what I mean.
I don't think
Oh,
so.
no, I don't agree with that.
Really good. I think she has a lot of potential.
The only reason she lasts longer than at least, and in 5 years isn't really a long time. So the only reason she lasts longer in 5 years is if Ronda's here.
Stop it. I don't think it's that simple. There's no way.
I think she has her. I think she's has her own value as a performer.
We'll revisit in 5 years.
Yes, we will revisit that. But no, honestly, I'm with you, Matt, because Shayna brings so much more to the table. One, she has international experience. So that can help these newbie women who have never stepped a day or a foot in Japan, per se. Much like the person that they're just going to bring on now. Someone that Chip is not a fan of, but they have wrestled in Japan and all around the world. She is also a Mae Young competitor. She is one Candice Lerae.
Chip, what is your deal with her? Why don't you like her? How can you not like her?
I do like her. That's the problem. She's so much better than what she's shown in WWE.
That's the problem.
Oh, okay.
That's
my problem.
That Chip and I, and for me too, to a degree, Candice LeRae, if you put her with men, she busts their ass. Yeah. Every time we say Candice LeRae, we get booed. I know. But when she was in the Mae Young Classic, I didn't say her name yet, Chip. I said she. She was portrayed as the plucky underdog, and I don't think that role fits her. That does not fit her well in terms of professional wrestling. She took a super kick from the Bucks in the mouth with thumbtacks in her mouth.
Oof.
I'm sorry. You want to book someone tough? That's tough. You want someone to beat the crap out of her and then she keeps asking for more and then she wins a match? That's a good way to book her. But
She's
to book her as this whole...
that Bayley should have been.
Yeah.
God.
You book her as this whole like, hi, I'm the girl next door with dimples and I'm plucky and quirky. No, we have enough of those. We need different personalities. And her being a tough women's wrestler, I think is just what the NXT women need, because you have, I'm going to say this, and please don't kill me, everyone listening, when we post this, but you got enough of the frilly, prissy female wrestlers. We got enough of that. We don't need any more. Tough women, as evidenced in the Mae Young Classic, are the new age of professional wrestling. We don't want, I'm speaking for myself. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I don't want dainty, I don't want to get hurt. This ain't ballet like freaking JR says, okay? So booking women's wrestlers as they're dainty and not tough, I think is a really big disservice to women's wrestling as a whole.
But
so
do you really think she was booked dainty? I don't really see her as like weak.
Go back and rewatch it, Matt. She was not able to show her skills as well as she could have.
I get you know, has a few matches and you guys have seen, you know, a lot more of her in the indies as a whole different thing, but at the same time, like,
it's the style.
Her husband is like the biggest baby face. She's not gonna be this like tough, grungy, like she's gonna be exactly like him. And I'm okay with that. I honestly think that Candice and Dakota Kai are much better versions of Bayley. Bayley's a good wrestler, but I prefer their character way more.
Who are the two?
Dakota Kai and Candice LeRae. I think Dakota Kai is way better than Bayley.
Yes to that point. No to the Candice LeRae point.
If you're gonna book her that way, I'm not saying she has to be booked that way.
I don't think she can. I just don't think she'll work booked that way. I think she has to be booked as she was on the indies, a tough. Just tough.
We're not making it seem, Matt. We're not making it seem like she can't be a good face in peril. But if her whole gimmick is her catching abuse and beatdowns and then overcoming adversity, that gets tired.
Here's the way to put it.
Bayley on the main roster for that same reason.
Here's the way to put it. If she's going to be the female Johnny Gargano, no thank you. Because Johnny Gargano just takes a beating and kicks out and, well, recently wins. If that's what we're doing, no thank you. Keep it.
I mean, I think I'm going to make a comparison right now. I really think that a lot of people agree with you, and this is with Sasha Banks. A lot of people want to see the boss. They can't stand Sasha as a face. I'm not saying myself, but a lot of people don't like to. I mean, I think she's great being a baby face. I prefer the boss, obviously, if I had to pick between the two. But NXT, she was the boss. The main roster, she got so popular and got chanted for, they had to turn her the other way. And I know I've seen a lot of people on Twitter say, "Oh, Sasha's not a good face," and that this kind of reminds me of that and what you guys are saying.
I don't think she's an awesome heel either, but that's a different story.
Wait, why?
It's just I can't say dislike, but I'm just not a huge fan. Like, I just don't care about her. That's all. Like, I think she's fine. I just don't care.
I personally
there's nothing to make me care.
I don't mean to interrupt either of you, but I think that she was probably the best heel in the world at that time.
Oh, at that time, yeah, I was all in. But just recently, I just really don't care. Like, she does nothing to pull me in, and that's what it is. That's what it's all about, right? They got to pull you in.
Yeah, no, and everybody's different.
Yep.
So going back to Candice LeRae really fast, what does she bring to the NXT women's roster? Where do you see her fit? Where do you see one of her first feuds?
Well, we got to know how she's going to be booked first before we can answer that.
Do you?
Well, if she's going to come in as this tough woman.
Well, I'm making you fantasy booker for now, Jim.
Okay, so how I'd want her debut.
Yes.
Is against Shayna.
Do what?
Beat her. That's the only way.
No, that's not a bad idea to me. If Shayna's gonna go to the main roster sooner rather than later, why not have Candice LeRae, or in this case Dakota Kai, be the one to avenge their losses to her?
Because we're not going to see Dakota Kai for at least 6 months. Same with Candice LeRae. I don't think she's going to be right on TV. Everybody goes through, like Chris Hero. He wasn't on TV right away, even when he came back. I mean, he was quicker than most, but he wasn't on TV right away. But you know what? There are people out there saying that Candice LeRae is going to debut at the Rumble.
I said it yesterday.
In the Rumble.
I said it yesterday.
You think that's still true?
Of course.
Like debut for the main roster, or just debut
like a one-time shot
just
in the Women's Royal Rumble.
But you know what? You can do that because it's in Philly and that crowd's smart.
That's why. Yeah. That is why I think she, of everyone else, is going to make that one-off appearance from NXT in the Rumble. Because I thought it was going to be Dakota Kai at first, but now they're doing this whole, she shattered her elbow, so I don't see her. There's no Paige in the Rumble, so you've lost 2 potential people there. So you got to fill out the roster somehow, and you can't bring back every 45-year-old former diva. So what are you going to do?
They're bringing back apparently Molly Holly and Michelle McCool. That was a rumor today.
Molly Holly is a great call.
Yeah, she's one of the better unheralded women's wrestlers of our time.
Unsung hero.
That is great.
But I want to really fast give my my Candice LeRae booking scenario.
Go ahead,
I think they'll bring her in how she was booked in the Mae Young Classic, and I think that she'll be paired with Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. They can do the whole like, oh, you're really cute, but we're better than you. This is our NXT. As maybe as maybe like their swan song if they actually get called up after the Rumble. I think they'll definitely both be in the Rumble, but. Anyway, I think that's a perfect feud for Candice. I don't really see any other obvious people for her to feud with. I personally, Chip, don't see Candice. I don't think that she would feud with Shayna as a champion right away.
No. No, that would be a departing Shayna.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense.
For the main roster. Mm-hmm.
Yep. That would be a departing Shayna. That's really the only way, unless she's coming in as a heel. And then she just runs roughshod through people.
But do we have enough dominant heels on the roster now? NXT? No, right?
No.
Okay.
I can't even think. Shayna and Dominant. I don't think the Iconic Duo are dominant.
No, they're too much. Their overacting just kills me, man. That's the one thing I find that annoys me.
It's Billie Kay more than Peyton.
It's definitely Billie Kay more than Peyton.
Which is why I think Billie's a better manager than she is a wrestler.
Yes. Agreed.
She's clumsy.
Right, like I would like to see Billie Kay be a Lana type for somebody, whether it's the women's division or a man, or whatever.
By the way, really quick, switching gears. Now that you bring that up about a Lana type, what are they doing with Tamina? What is happening? Have they forgotten about her?
So, full disclosure, I haven't seen SmackDown 2 weeks. So
That's why I'm asking.
I know I haven't seen SmackDown in general.
Because it's all about the Riot Squad, and Matt, you had a great comparison talking about the Riot Squad, that they're being booked by the Suicide Squad. Why don't you tell the audience what you meant by that?
So, I mean, I kind of noticed this a couple weeks ago. Liv Morgan had I think it's been ever since, what was it? Clash of Champions. She's looked very Harley Quinn-ish, and she can do Harley Quinn better than Alexa Bliss can do Harley Quinn, like by leaps and bounds. And she's got the little ponytails in. And then I think it was 2 weeks ago, they came out, and now their entrance video is the Riot Squad with a bunch of different like Suicide Squad looking colors. Even their t-shirt looks like the Suicide Squad, looks like the lettering. I think that Liv Morgan is Harley Quinn. I think that Ruby Riott is your pseudo Joker, just based on how she looks. I think she's great, but I see her as the Joker, as the focal point, the leader of the faction. Even how she was talking when she cut that promo I think it was 2 weeks ago, when she was talking about the crowd. You people are complacent. I thought it was great, generating heat. She generated heat like that. It was really fast. And then, Sarah Logan's your muscle. I don't want to be rude by saying this, but if you're going to make a comparison to Suicide Squad, she's, maybe your Killer Croc or something. I mean, I just think they're going very dark for them. She also has the black eyelash around. They all have the dark
raccoon eyeshadow.
They all have the raccoon eyeshadow look now too. So I just think Suicide Squad, which actually from a WWE standpoint gives them a lot of identity, and can kind of connect with casual fans. And when I see that, even as a wrestling fan, I say, okay, Suicide Squad, I like Suicide Squad, I'm gonna like them, I'm invested. So I give WWE kudos for doing that, if that's what they're doing.
I was gonna say, you really think that's intentional?
I personally think it's very intentional. I think it's obvious. Okay. Whereas Absolution's more of a natural team, but now, I said that a couple weeks ago on the show, now I think that with the Riot Squad, in my feeling, being quote unquote Suicide Squad, I think they now have more of an identity. It's kind of interesting.
Huh. You know what? The fact that you said it that way, and I'm watching it in my head as you're talking about it, and they do fit these comic book character types. I still don't. I was very high on the thought of them being brought up at first, and then as the couple of weeks went by, I'm like, okay, they're still maintaining momentum. But I get the sense now that after Absolution came up, and now that Paige is injured, they kind of take a half step back. I don't want the Riot Squad to get lost in the mix, because, as we said before on the show, we brought up the fact that SmackDown Women's was running in place for a while, and honestly, I feel like there's no compelling characters aside from the Riot Squad at this point. Because Becky just came back, but she's same old Bex. It's like just straight up the last kicker. That's it. So where's the character development? Where's Naomi's character development? That's why I asked about Tamina. What the hell did they do with her?
They forgot about her like usual.
And that's a problem, because you have these women on the roster, and it goes back to a point you brought up a couple of weeks ago, Matt, about, I think it was you, about the writers, that your first day on the job, you write the women's matches for either SmackDown or Raw. And I'm like, oh my God, they have a freaking revolving door of writers to write women's matches and storylines, and no wonder there is no cohesion. And that's the thing that's bugging me.
Agreed.
There's no cohesion.
I don't want to defend the company, but I think that in general, other than obviously I'm loving the Balor Club storyline. I'm a much bigger Balor Club fan than I am the Shield fan.
Really?
150,000%.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that as in general, from the women's division perspective, I think that we're in a holding pattern until the Rumble. And I feel the same about WWE in general. The Rumble's coming up in a few weeks. This thing is going to be really historic. Whoever wins is going to set the stage for WrestleMania, and the other show is going to, come up with their own champion-esque. But I don't really see, even just the champ. Charlotte's been a great champion, but Alexa Bliss hasn't defended her championship in months. It's just, at this point, it's getting ridiculous. And I really can't wait till she does not have that belt, because it just hasn't gotten better. Now they're doing a whole Nia Alexa friendship storyline, and I don't know. I really hope the Mania match is not Alexa versus Asuka. I think that's an absolute disaster.
That's the Rumble match or the 25th anniversary match.
Yes,
I think that's the
agreed.
25th anniversary match. I think Asuka's already in the Rumble.
She is, but I also could see Alexa costing Asuka the Rumble, and then they fight at Elimination Chamber where Nia kind of helps Asuka win,
I think
and
the
then
Mania
Nia
match
versus Alexa.
at Mania.
I mean, you mean for the championship or
I think Nia versus Alexa is the Mania match.
for the championship?
Yep.
Okay, I could see that.
I think that's the direction we're going right now, and I think that's Nia's crowning point. She gets it at Mania, which I think is the right choice, and then Asuka's her first challenger, a heel Asuka.
Really?
I don't know how we get there, but somehow we get there with Asuka as a heel.
Well, you'd have to take out the dancing.
Please, that would be great.
Nia is also slowly turning face too.
I just want to see Asuka kick people's heads off. That's it. That's all I want.
Show up, kick butt, and leave. Isn't that the whole point?
I want her to be the female Steve Austin. If we're gonna do this whole the female Goldberg, like I know we've already made that comparison. Let's say the female Steve Austin. Arrive, raise hell, leave. That's all I want.
What do you think, Matt, about Asuka? Do you see her being a Stone Cold type?
So Matt, I don't know if he's back yet.
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, a Stone Cold type. What do you mean?
Like Chip just said, making her
arrive, raise hell,
kicker.
leave.
I could see that. I mean, show up, beat the crap out of people, and what? Yeah, potentially. I mean, I don't think that she's similar in Stone Cold in that like respect. No one's gonna be, but
oh no, absolutely not.
I could see that being her gimmick. It depends on in terms of Asuka being heel. It depends on where the superstar shakeup after Mania, who wins. Like I said, I think Nia's gonna go face, but it really just depends. I think that they're pushing Asuka as a face at this point, protagonist. So I don't really see them changing that. I think maybe if she's a champion, she could turn heel, but yeah, you have to have some sort of balance. And like eventually Sasha's going to turn heel too. So she could turn heel on SmackDown, but
the amazing thing is we've been saying that for a year and it hasn't happened.
I know. And there's a lot of reasons for that though. They were not, I think that they would have turned Sasha Banks heel at Mania or after Mania had Bayley gotten over as a face, and that's not really necessarily her fault. That's WWE's fault, but they kind of just shit in their own Easter basket with that. That's totally their fault. Because they decided to push Bayley like Superwoman and not like, how she's booked in NXT. They wanted to go with it way too fast.
Sure.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
By the way, what was the metaphor you just used there, Matt? They shit in their
Easter basket. It's a saying.
Oh,
I've never heard of that before.
Where does that come from?
I don't know. I've just heard it.
It's like shit the bed?
Shit in your own Easter basket. I don't.
Okay.
I've heard it before. Oh.
I've never heard it before.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be honest here. Chip, you're slowly wearing me down on this whole Asuka thing. I don't know where my Asuka went, the NXT version of Asuka, but I get how WWE is an entertainment-based program. You have to make Asuka entertaining, and by thusly dropping a weird, quirky hip dance. By the way, why are they calling all these butt strikes hip attacks? That's
Tony
not
Storm.
hip. That's a backside.
Well, Tony Storm calls her ass-based offense hip attacks too. I don't think they can say ass attack or.
Well, butt's not a bad word.
Yeah, but they probably just don't want to sound awkward.
They only use the rear end.
Like they can. Well, do they still call that the rear end?
I think so.
No, that's different. But like Tony Storm's thing is small hat and hip attacks.
Small hat and hip attacks. Okay. Well,
small hats and hip attacks.
Well, you're starting to win me over with this Asuka argument, but that is the inevitable thing that happens when an NXT superstar. Stop clapping. That is what happens when an NXT superstar actually goes to the main roster. They have to be repackaged just a little bit because what worked in NXT, as we know, doesn't always work on the main roster.
The shit she does with her hands, it looks like she's in the middle, like taking a shower. Like if you can see me on camera,
I did. You do realize that when she was in Japan, there were videos of her in the shower, right?
No. Don't tell Doc Manson that.
Okay. Why? It's almost common knowledge.
He's obsessed with Asuka.
Oh, Doc, I know you're probably going to listen to this, so look up Asuka in the shower. It's there. Dude.
I mean, go for it. I just don't think Mrs. Manson would be too happy.
Oh, well, don't tell the wife then. But give me another example of someone who, on one hand, in NXT, beside Bailey, who
Yeah.
had everything written in the stars in a sense, and the minute they got up, or after a while on the main roster, they just crapped the bed or pooped in their Easter basket, as McCool just said.
Neville, Bo Dallas.
Women.
Women. Let's see. See, women is hard. Well, Emma. Women actually, it's a good thing, but it's harder to come up with off the top of my head.
I would say Emma would be one of the first people. I'd say to a point Paige, because remember when Paige debuted, she was all shucks and
she
all
won
golly.
her first night.
Yeah, but she was all shucks and golly in her interactions with AJ Lee.
True.
So you're taking out the butt kicker and you're making her Candice Lerae. Look at me, I'm so cute and I'm so innocent, and I'm not gonna hurt you, but in reality, I'm gonna kill you. Like that's okay. Like
in reality, I'm gonna kill you.
I can get down with that. But if
Yeah.
you're gonna paint and portray Candice LeRae as this quirky girl next door, because we all call her a Disney princess come to life, fine.
Right.
But I don't know. It's the same thing with you and I. She's tougher than what they're portraying her, and I think that is the downside.
It kills me.
Just like with Dakota, they're gonna, like Matt says, they're gonna make her into this Bailey wannabe, but in reality, you don't got to. You don't got to keep going back to the well using the Bailey trope.
She's better.
Wow.
She's so much better.
At it, you mean?
At it, yes.
Yep. I agree with you 100%. She's so much better at being the girl next door who can kick your ass more so than Bailey.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't think Bailey was ever the girl next door that could kick your ass. I think it was the girl next door that was resilient and doesn't quit. So I think it's a little different in that sense.
I mean, we started this broadcast talking about, the mixed match challenge, and again, that's a mouthful to say mixed matched challenge. Jesus Christ.
What? Sorry.
I wasn't looking forward to it at first, but now that I've seen the pairings and now that we've talked about it here on Shattered Glasscast,
sure,
I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out. I think it's going to be interesting.
And like if it's true where we're gonna have no implications on other storylines and just have fun with it, I'm down. But I'm sorry, I got cut off track. Here's a headline going around right now.
What?
John Cena on joining the Bullet Club. The Young Bucks respond. I'm just opening the article now.
Okay.
And second, Austin Aries, the new Impact heavyweight or Grand, whatever they're called now, champion, is going to face a current WWE champion in Pete Dunne. First time a Impact and WWE champion have ever faced each other.
Okay, here's the thing now that I see that this is happening more often now.
Right now we're getting WWE and IWGP.
You got Dunne against Ospreay. Now you got Austin Aries against Dunne.
It doesn't count.
Why are they integrating all these different promotions together? Why is Vince signing off on it?
He should be signing off on it and doing it on his television show.
But that's my question. Why do you think Vince is okay with signing off on this?
I don't think he is. I think their contracts state, Pete Dunne's contract probably says you can work any independent date you want. As long as you don't have a WWE date, you can work whoever you want. You can work wherever you want, as long as you have a WWE date. And you can't work Ring of Honor or Impact. But you can work any independent date and face whoever they book you against.
Okay.
I'd bet that's their contract. So I don't think
so it's not on Impact programming. It's going to be they just happen to be at an indie federation at the same time.
Yeah, it's at Destiny Pro Wrestling in the UK.
Okay. Matt, before you left, we went from Asuka to talking about the fact that now there's a lot of interbranding between champions from, let's say, Impact and WWE appearing at indie events against each other. So this feels like it's a new thing where, like in the territories, you would have this every once in a while, but now it's becoming more prevalent. So that's why Chip is telling me about this whole Austin Aries versus Pete Dunne thing. And before that is going to be Pete Dunne versus Will Ospreay. And they're all from different promotions. So I found that interesting.
As Paige said, I'm back.
Yes,
but I'm okay with it. I think it's cool. I mean, WWE as a company doesn't really have any competition TV-wise like in the 90s. And I think that, like Chip said, Pete Dunne, I think he can work any indie day as long as it doesn't conflict with, NXT taping or whenever they need him. So, I mean, this keeps happening. I'm cool with it. It just kind of promotes other promotions. It kind of promotes Lots of different wrestlers, and I think it's good for the business. I really do.
Well, I mean, I don't think that we can ever really look back on this and say, "Oh, hey, we actually had a WWE versus Impact champion match."
No.
I don't think that's a real thing we can do, but it's cool for the moment.
Oh yeah, no, just to get the buzz, I think that's pretty cool. And just like I told you yesterday, Chip and Matt, I don't know if you know about the match on, was it March 2nd, Chip? The event?
The February 10th.
No. The one in March with Tennille and Deanna.
March 10th. Yep.
Yeah, March 2nd. There is a women's match with Deanna Purrazzo versus Tennille Dashwood, otherwise known as Emma. So, what are your thoughts?
It's all about her. So I love it. I'll answer for him right now.
Sure. Sorry, my bad.
Go ahead. Now that you're back, I got you.
What did you ask me? I apologize.
Oh, I was saying that yesterday I told Chip that I'm going to be going to an event on March 2nd that's going to have
10th.
Tennille, aka
2nd.
Emma, versus Deanna Purrazzo.
Oh wow, that's going to be a great match.
So, what are your thoughts on potentially those two kind of? Well, what's your thoughts on Emma or Tennille being out in the indie circuit? Let's start there.
I think I said this when she was cut. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for her and for women's wrestling because I really think that this is going to kind of not open the floodgates, but I think she is the first real ex WWE, women's wrestler people are gonna maybe know and really want to see in this new generation of women's wrestling. I hope it helps out a lot of other promotions, like we said before. I hope she gets signed by Women of Honor and she makes appearances all over the place. I'd love to see her work with Toni Storm, Viper.
Hell yeah.
It'd be awesome. And I think the match is going to be great. It's two of the best on the scene right now. So I think that if she can prove that, she can get higher pay, lots of dates, I think it just helps, like I said, ex-WWE women's super. Not that they haven't been booked before. Obviously, Victoria goes to TNA and same with Gail Kim, but it's totally different. Whereas, for an Emma to go to wrestle Toni Storm in Progress, or, go wrestle in Shimmer, or go wrestle Women of Honor, or go to Japan, there's endless possibilities.
Really quick, does anybody think Gail Kim's in the Rumble?
I was just going to ask that.
Yes.
I do too.
I think it'll be a shocker if Trish is not in the Rumble.
I don't know if she's in, dude. Honestly, I'm having doubts whether or not they let her in.
Did you see what Kurt Angle said on Monday? Did you guys see that segment?
Oh yeah, you haven't been in a WWE ring in years. Yeah, Molly Holly is the person he was talking about.
Okay, but they wouldn't shoot that. They're not going to shoot that for Molly Holly, though. I mean, no offense, but that's a big thing to put on TV.
It could just be a bait and switch where people think it's about Trish or it's about Lita, and it's Molly Holly, and you don't want to get this. I would feel bad for her. It's sort of like that Rey Mysterio effect when that year in the Rumble when he came out at 30, and it was supposed to be Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, that would be really bad.
Rey Mysterio got the booze. And same thing with Goldust. It was like, you don't want that to happen to that person. So, me personally, I'm looking forward to seeing Deanna against Tennille because I think Emma/Tennille is one of the most underutilized talents in the world right now. That's one. Two, Gail Kim in the Rumble, I think, is a great idea. Only if WWE allows the audience, the announced team, to reference that she's been multiple time champion in other promotions. They don't got to mention Impact, but they got to mention the fact that they can't just say, "Oh, she's a two-time Divas champion." Nah, she's more than that, man. She's way more than that. And I can see
they could say she's a former women's champion from somewhere in Florida.
Then people would think it's NXT.
They did that with James Storm. When James Storm came in, they said he was a world heavyweight champion in Florida.
Do we even remember James Storm in NXT?
I do. It was really brief.
It was like 2 appearances. It was in October of some year.
And he had a beer gut and a half.
Oh.
Yeah, I do remember that. I do.
He just retired from Impact.
He just left. Yep. So he's coming back.
Yeah. Me personally, I'm looking forward to the Rumble, and we'll get into it more so next week. But just to wrap up here,
before we meet in the Rumble next week.
What was that?
Is next week the last show before we see each other in Rumble?
Yes. No. Yes.
No.
No.
We got 2 more.
No.
Oh man.
No, because ironically, Raw's 25th anniversary
He has to go home.
Is also my 25th birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you. And that's about a week away. So no.
A week from Monday will be a week away.
Yes.
A week from Monday will be a week away. Whatever that means.
I don't know what language you're speaking, Chip, but that's not English. I don't know what that is. That's some gibberish right there. I think you shitted in your Easter basket a little too much.
Is that going to be a new thing on the show?
I think that should be a T-shirt. I think that's gonna be a T-shirt of like the Easter bunny pooping in a basket.
No, it's gonna be Chip with bunny ears shitting in an Easter basket.
Can we do that?
Yes.
What? Make a shirt with you shitting in a basket? Sure, why not?
With bunny ears, I'm down.
You're ridiculous. You know you could be pooping on. You could be shitting on Wingstop.
There we go.
Wings.
Oh man. Yes, I am down. I am down. Let's find somebody to do this right now.
And if people want to know what we're talking about, go back and watch. Go back and rewatch and listen to Salty Chips yesterday, because Chip details his feud with Wingstop and how it has to end eventually. So, and we're gonna settle this at Rumble. Matt, I have agreed to actually eat a piece of pizza, not a slice, like a bite of pizza with mustard on it.
2 bites.
Good.
1 bite.
Good. I have a great honey mustard chicken pizza.
The bite has to be. No, it can't be a tiny bite. It has to be a good sized bite.
Damian, trust me, it's honey mustard chicken pizza is amazing.
Oh, we're doing it with
regular mustard,
yellow mustard.
Because I said,
"Oh, I'm with you. I don't
it's like good.
Did you see that diarrhea waiting to happen, man? Come on.
Did you see the video I posted on Twitter, Matt?
No.
I made a coworker do it. I'm gonna send it in our group chat on Twitter right now. I made a coworker do it. It wasn't that bad.
Oh God, you're disgusting. And I think that's the perfect way for us to wrap the show up.
I'm saying I'm disgusting.
Everybody. You're disgusting. Let's do it. You're
How am I disgusting?
You're done. I'm cutting your mic off.
No.
You're not mic off on the live stream. Bye, Chip.
Hey.
You're muted. And now Chip has been muted.
Oh my God!
On behalf of everybody here at Shattered Glass Cast, I can see Chip waving. Oh, by the way, shout out to Chip's grandma for appearing on camera before we came on air. Shout out to her. Big up to Matt McCool for joining us this week. We just had a weird scheduling thing last week with Mother Nature. It's good to have you back.
You guys were frozen in the blizzard.
Literally,
completely. There was too much snow, but we're a couple weeks away from the Rum. I'm looking forward to seeing and meeting everybody. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be an awesome weekend. I literally cannot wait.
Me too. And for everyone, you can watch the show or catch the show at Glasscast NEI, YouTube, put it on Twitter, social media. We are nothing without you. So without you, there is no us. So I just want to say on behalf of everybody here, myself, Matt McCool, and I'm going to let Chip back in because he's acting like a crazy person. Chip, welcome back, Chip. I'm trying to unmute your mic now. Unmute. Oh, I can't unmute Chip's mic. Haha, sorry, Chip. Bye. We love you. I'm at Dare to Be Damian. McCool's at McCool NEI. Chip's at Chip Kayfabe. Find the show at Glasscast NEI. Sorry, Chip. Love you guys. Later.